Dallas Cowboys Game Night is presented by AT&T. Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. Miller Lite, the only beer the Cowboys. It's Miller time. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.
The Dallas Cowboys take advantage of a massive first half in Washington and come out with a 27-20 win over the football team, helping them take complete control of the NFC East and take a 9-4 record into Week 15 of the NFL season. They held off a late charge to get the job done for another road win. Welcome into Cowboys Game Night here from the Star in Frisco. Alongside the six-time Pro Bowler Nate Newton, I'm Kyle Youmans. And Nate, it wasn't pretty down the stretch. The Cowboys trying to hold on to what was at one point a 24-0 lead at the halftime break. And well, Washington made it a game, but they were able to close it out.
Yes, this was a simple game. Defense dominated. Offense was inconsistent. We had just enough run game to help us. We had 4 kicks by Zerline. That was perfect. Field goals, and that's how it ended up. You know, our defense taking it in the end with Gregory stripped a sack there. So, hey, defense win games too.
There were some inconsistencies on offense, which has been a trend for the Cowboys as of late. But let's take a look at how this one unfolded from the get-go. Dallas back on the road in Washington and trying to avenge a couple of losses against the football team back in 2020. The opening drive resulted in a field goal. Not so much on the second drive for the Dallas Cowboys, as this one's picked off by Landon Collins over the top. So short field for the Washington offense, but no fear. Here's Randy Gregory, tips it up in the air and is able to have his first interception of his career. How does the offense respond? Well, 8 plays later, Nate Newton over the middle to Amari Cooper, his 6th touchdown of the year.
You know, he just ran a little quick inside route right there, the quick move outside to inside, and all of a sudden, you know, a clear out route by the tight end, and it's wide open in the middle, and he makes the catch.
There were not a whole lot of wide open holes for Dak to throw into, but this was one of them early on. Cowboys went to 2 to make it a 11-0 lead. So Washington really in need of an answer here, and if you come for Micah Parsons highlights, you came to the right place. How about Micah Parsons on a strip sack, forced fumble, and it's picked up by Dorrance Armstrong, and the big man takes it into the end zone.
I tell you what, man, he came from off the line to get this one right here, man. He drove through the ball, drove through the quarterback, and all of a sudden you get a strip sack there. And look at here, man, my boy Dorrance Armstrong picks it up, man. Look at him pointing a little bit. Block that guy right there, but he gets in the end zone.
Just 47 yards total for Washington in the first half. How does it fare in the second half? Well, guess what? More of the same, as it's Micah Parsons again, as really they just dominated from the get-go. You talk about the sacks for Micah Parsons setting up field goals, as the Dallas offense kind of pitter-pattered in the second quarter, but were able to come up with 2 kicks from Greg Zerline. Now, in the third quarter, here's the way Washington got on the board. A deep heave downfield to Sims up against Trayvon Diggs. Just a phenomenal grab.
Man, you know what? Great defense, but as they say in basketball, better offense always win. And right here, this kid made a hell of a catch to come down with that ball. Knee in, elbow in, great play.
It was initially ruled an incompletion, but they turn around and rule it a touchdown, thus giving an opportunity to go for 2, and Taylor Heineke dives for the pylon and gets it. Now later in the third quarter, throw over the middle, complete to Gibson, but not so fast. Here comes Jordan Lewis with a huge punch out. The forced fumble gives the ball back to Dallas, and it leads to this 29-yard Greg Zerline field goal to push it back to a 3-possession lead for the Cowboys at 27-8. Game over, right? Not so fast. In the fourth quarter, after a Washington touchdown, Dak Prescott throw over the middle, intercepted by Holcomb, and that's not it. He takes it all the way back into the end zone. The pick 6 makes it a 1-possession game. The PAT was blocked. Dallas back on offense. 3rd down and 3 over the middle. Throw to Michael Gallup. It's knocked away by Fuller, and Washington gets the ball back. You need a big play from your big-time playmakers. Who steps up? It's Randy Gregory. A strip sack of Kyle Allen putting the ball on the carpet. It's picked up by the Dallas Cowboys, and that was enough for the Cowboys to seal it. A huge strip sack to end up giving an opportunity for the offense to run out the clock, and that is exactly what they did. 27-20, the final score against the Washington football team, up over 320 yards. Better on 3rd down for the Cowboys, but this was a defensive-minded win for the Cowboys on the road at FedEx Field. But we've got plenty more to talk about this win over the Washington football team, because when we come back here on Cowboys OT, we hear the post-game reaction from out in Landover, Maryland, right after this.
This segment is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. The Dallas Cowboys scratch ticket from the Texas Lottery is your ticket for a chance to win up to $100,000. Get your Dallas Cowboys scratch ticket today. Must be 18 or older to purchase a ticket. Play responsibly.
The Cowboys get a much-needed win over the Washington football team and improve to 9-4 on the 2021 season. Now let's go back out to FedEx Field and hear from the Cowboys, starting with QB1 and Dak Prescott following the 7-point win.
Just talk about how you played as a team to open up the game tonight, and then it got maybe a little tenser at the end, and then get ejected.
Yeah, I mean, good team win. Obviously, we've got to do a better job of finishing on offense, but credit to our defense. Two turnovers that I had, they got the ball right back, and that's what all I can ask for. It's all you can ask for is an offense. But as you said, got going pretty early, got a good lead, but then we've got to be able to finish it off and not let them back in the game. Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating. We got high standards and high expectations for ourselves. So when you're not moving the ball and you're not scoring points, you're only scoring 6 points in the second half. Yeah, it's not acceptable. We've got to be better than that in the latter part of the year. Obviously, as you get ready to go play better teams, play division teams, and play in the playoffs.
You talked to us about getting that connection back with your receivers after y'all each missed some time. Where is it today relative to where you want it to be?
I mean, I've got to go back and look at it. Tough to just say it raw without watching the tape, but we can always be better. Every throw, every rep, every play is is a process, and it's experience. It's something that we can get better, regardless if it's completed, regardless if we feel good about the way that it happened. We can be better.
What did you see on that fourth quarter interception, and how did that play break down the way it did?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I've got to take the sack. Don't put the ball in harm's way, and that's the bottom line. Honestly, no excuse for that. Period.
Dak, when you got shoved out of bounds, what happened on that play, and what was your reaction when you see Zeke get allowed to internet for you like that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm rolling. I'm just trying to make a play. Felt like it was close on the call. Turned back to look at the ref and just saw a lot going on. Can't say that I saw details or know exactly what happened, but obviously respect and love the fact that my teammates standing up for me, and that's just how all of us feel about one another. That's just not them protecting me, but that's how any of us would protect any of our brothers and our teammates in that position. So, yeah, I mean, thankful for those guys, and yeah, that.
You can catch the whole press conference with Dak Prescott on DallasCowboys.com. Here are some of the stats offensively, and you heard it from Dak himself, Nate, about how this offense holds themselves to higher standards. These stats, comparatively to the rest of the NFL, are not bad stats. 323 yards, just a couple of turnovers. Looks like an average day. But that's the thing about this offense, is they're not in this position to be average. You're expecting this to be a top 2 or top 3 offense in the entire NFL.
You know, easily you may be looking at, 25 to 30 points per game, and they're not doing this right now because 1 minute it was the offensive line being inconsistent, but our quarterback has been consistent. Our run game has been inconsistent is the word I'm looking for. We got to get consistent. We got to be a better team, and we're coming down the stretch. We can't throw interceptions at the end of the game. That's not Dak, so we have to get better real quick.
Got to get better at it. The Cowboys defense is certainly continuing to get better as the year goes along. When we come back on Cowboys game night, we hear from Randy Gregory in his first game back. He made a couple splash plays in the win over Washington.
This segment was brought to you by the Texas Lottery. The Dallas Cowboys scratch ticket from the Texas Lottery is your ticket for a chance to win up to $100,000. Get your Dallas Cowboys scratch ticket today. Must be 18 or older to purchase a ticket. Play responsibly. This segment is brought to you by Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save.
The Week 14 win over Washington marked the first time in Cowboys history where a defensive lineman has registered an interception in back-to-back games. Last week against the Saints, it was Carlos Watkins. This week, Randy Gregory in his first game back after missing 4 matchups on the injured reserve. Here's Gregory after the 27-20 win.
All right. I said this to Neville. I'll say this to you. Welcome back.
Thank you.
How did it feel to get out there and make a few plays out there, especially the ones at the end?
It felt good. You know, the most important thing is getting the win. Got out the game healthy. Made some plays, you know. So it was a good way to come back. Just a few things I got to fix as far as my pass rush play and things like that, and get right back at it next week.
What did you see at the end on the last play, the sack, the fumble? Could you get a good view of it? And what did you think it was? He was down, or?
I honestly didn't see that he threw it until like the very, very last second. I thought I had sacked him, but at the same time I thought, you know, he threw the ball away. His knee was probably down by then. Thankfully it was. So big play for us. We just need to close out games earlier than that, you know.
I'm going to try you out at receiver now or tight end or anything? What?
No, you saw how fast I was on the interception, so they're still giving me a little bit of shit about that. But like I said, main thing is make the play.
Go talk us through that play, because there's a lot happening there. You're getting blocked. You got to get over the block, then get up and tip it, and then find it again and catch it. I thought it was an amazing play. Was it one of your better plays you've ever?
Definitely. I mean, I think it just shows my instincts and a little bit of athleticism. It's funny. We worked on cut blocks a couple weeks ago with Dan Quinn was out there with a helmet on in practice, and that's the drill right there. You know, get the cut block down, get your hands up. Thankfully, I was able to get in the lane and get my left hand and block it. And at that point, I was just trying to figure out which way was the right way to go, because I was looking up and wasn't really sure which way was the right end zone, and was just trying not to get hawked from behind or from the ball.
So first game this year with yourself and Neville and Tank and Parsons all together. I think everyone got a sack. Dorrance got a touchdown. I mean, this is kind of what the blueprint is for this defense.
We expect to do a lot of great things. It's really about our preparation and going out there and executing. I think when guys really have their laser focus, as far as the game plan and things like that, we really go out there and ball out. And guys are going to make plays. We got a lot of guys that can rush the pass. We got a lot of guys that can play the run. A lot of guys that really want to go out there and make a play and be that guy to make that play. So just got to give guys the opportunity to do that.
One more. Your coach came out this week and said he expects you to win the game. What was your take about that? And obviously you agreed. Do you like it when your head coach is not afraid to say that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we preach all week about supreme confidence, and Rob Davis, he talks about all the time, and so to have that level of confidence from our head coach, obviously it's going to trickle down to the rest of the guys. And they wanted us and they got us. We showed up, we played, we got the win. Got to come back and beat them again this next game.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Thank you, Randy.
Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Yes. Randy Gregory obviously excited about his performance in the win over Washington, but he wasn't alone on the defensive side of the football. We hear from Demarcus Lawrence when we come back with more Cowboys Game Night.
This segment was brought to you by Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save.
We just heard from Randy Gregory. We've also seen what Micah Parsons has done, as he had a couple other sacks and a forced fumble in the win over Washington 27-20. But let's hear from Demarcus Lawrence. The boys are back on defense, and they certainly had some confidence on that side of the football.
Well, we talked for a while about the three of y'all back on the field together. And, of course, I know that there's more to it, Dorrance and all those guys, but the three of you guys rushing it, was this kind of the blueprint of what y'all have been talking about?
Yeah, man. We had a great day today. We executed well. Now we got to get back to the drawing board, and come out stronger next week.
You've been in a few of these battles, Dallas and Washington, and this one meant more, obviously, to both teams. Could you tell how intense it was out there from the start?
Yeah, man. We just came out ready to get them what they asked for. They've been asking for Dallas all week. So, we came out, ready for that war, and they got what they asked for.
Your coach came through and said that he expected to win. What does that do for a team, especially a veteran leader like yourself, when your coach comes out and says that?
I don't want no coach that's leading us to come out and say we're going to lose. I feel like he had the fullest confidence in us. He knew how we was preparing that week to come out here and play today. So, shout out to Coach for letting y'all know what it was going to be.
What'd you think of those benches there on the sideline, the Cowboy benches?
I ain't even paying no attention.
You see, you didn't know that they're there.
I try to stay off the bench.
Okay. And then one more, your defense, you got it close again, a 7-point game. You needed to go out and make a stop. Just talk about Randy getting the big play. And every time your defense really needed to play, you guys have made it.
Absolutely, man. That's our motto all year is, we got to be the ones that win the game up front. And, shout out to Randy for making that huge stop at the end of the game. And shout out to the whole D-line and the, whole defense, man. Played a hell of a game today.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Thank you, Tank.
You're exactly right, D-Law. They did play a pretty darn good game against the Washington football team as we take a look at some of the final stats from the defense in a 27-20 win over the Washington football team. They had the 5 sacks, 9 quarterback hits, had an interception, and 4 total takeaways. It was a phenomenal performance. Again, defensively, is this something we should really anticipate throughout the final 4 games of the year as well?
It started last week when Demarcus Lawrence showed back up. This week with Gregory showed up, Gallimore showed up, and number 11 Parsons have not went anywhere. So with those 4 or 5 guys right there, you got a front that can stop the run, and now they can get after the passer. So if you can keep these guys in long distance pass situations, you can bring heat like this, and now that helps your back end. That let Diggs, that let Brown, that let all of these guys, Frazier, and all of these guys do what they need to do. And this is big time now for our defense.
They finished with those 4 takeaways, but they had opportunities for maybe 5, 6, 7 different takeaways. But what's been the biggest change this year on that unit as opposed to the 2020 unit?
Guys knowing who they are, what their roles are playing them to their fullest, cherishing those roles. And when those opportunities come up to make plays, they are making the plays at the biggest of times. Last year, we couldn't do that. We're taking the ball away, and we're making plays at the most opportunistic times.
Opportunistic, that's team speed, and then taking advantage with another defensive touchdown. I feel like it's a weekly occurrence that we see a defender dancing into the end zone after either an interception or a scoop and score. The Cowboys with back-to-back games with the scoop and score for the touchdown. When we come back, Nate Newton and I wrap things up here on Cowboys Game Night and look ahead to the final month of the Cowboys regular season.
Dallas Cowboys Game Night was presented by AT&T, Reliant, an NRG company, and by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.
One last look over Honest Abe as the Cowboys get a 27-20 win over the Washington football team as they are kings of the Capitol yet again. 323 total yards. They were better on third down. They had the takeaways, and they won the battle of time of possession. That was a huge key going into that matchup with the football team. And in doing so, they now have a 3-game lead with just 4 games left to play and can wrap up the division as early as Week 16. Welcome back into the final segment here of Cowboys Game Night alongside Nate Newton. I'm Kyle Youmans. What's the biggest thing the Cowboys need to take a look at and take a deep dive on as they prepare to face the Giants next Sunday?
It's all about the quarterback. That he's got to get the ball out of his hands. He held the ball, I think, a little bit too much. A few of those sacks I have to give to him, and then he has a bunch of overthrows that's not him. He was 22 for 39. 4-13 left in the fourth. He threw an interception. That's not Dak. We got to find out why. Get with the offensive line coach, get with the quarterback coach, get with everybody offensively so we can know what is this problem.
Defense building confidence. Do you think really quickly that the offense can get back on track late?
Yes, they can. They've done it before. They feel good about one another, and I think it can happen big time.
That should make all Cowboys fans out there feel much better even after the 27-20 win over the Washington football team. The Cowboys are 9-4. They're still in first place. As Nate Newton and I say so long from the Cowboys Game Night set. We'll see you next week following another Cowboys win.